Someone wrote in and said, how can I lessen the fear of dating if nothing seems to be working for me? I want to date because the more I get out there, the easier it gets, but it's hard to take on a lot of losses one after the other. This is Reid from readaboutsex.com.
Cathy from the intimacydojo.com.
It's a great question. It does take courage to get out there if you haven't been out there for a while, but if you start getting rejections, it's like, oh, wow, that's like maybe I should just go back and watch Seinfeld reruns. It's a lot safer.
Mm-hmm. And how does your raspy voice, how does that work?
Oh, I get no rejections when I have a raspy voice. No rejections
with the raspy voice. I see.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe if this person had that raspy voice, that sexy raspy voice, it would work better.
Just be getting over a cold and then go and ask people out.
Just date only after getting over a cold, or gargling with steel wool
vodka or something
like that. Yeah, exactly. It is a great question, and my uninformed advice, or maybe well-informed advice, is the rejection piece. One, you can look at rejection differently, like reframing it. Mm-hmm. But then I'm curious about how you assess who you go on the date with.
Who you're asking out?
Yeah. And can you do rejection as a form of like, oh, we're not a good fit? So you get that you're both not a good fit,
right.
Which usually when the other person understands it's not a good fit, it's a more empowering form of rejection.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are brought up to think that if someone says no, they're rejecting you in total as a person. Like mm-hmm. your whole being is wrong and bad.
Yeah.
Versus, I'm not ready to date right now, or you don't occur to me as someone who's a good fit for me, or
you don't want to get married, I want to get married, right. We shouldn't do this.
You could be a really cool person, I just don't want to go on a date.
If I was cooler, it would be okay that I didn't want to get married. Of course you'd want to fall in love with me and build a life.
Our society is always trying to put square pegs in round holes. It's like, mm-hmm. if you just hit it hard enough, it'll work. And I don't want to be in relationships like that.
Technically, that's true from a physics perspective, right?
Eventually, but it hurts. Both parties are not happy.
Cathy's a PhD engineer on the side, if you didn't know that, so it's always fun to do a little physics joke.
Yeah. So, I think just realizing that a no to going on a date does not mean a rejection of you as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I've also found out that sometimes if I'm really relaxed about it, I'm like, oh, cool. Like if I ask someone out, they say no. I say, like, okay, cool, thanks. Thanks for listening. And I'm relaxed about it. I don't do it to try to change their mind, but there's a doorway where they saw I handled the no well, and that makes them curious about who I am.
Well, with so many people feeling pressured about the dating stuff, and that most people want to feel wanted. They don't want to feel pressured.
Yeah.
The piece for me around rejection, and the reason I'm such a proponent of thinking about things as fits, like, is this a good fit? Is this not a good fit? What it helps me feel, because I am very insecure. I did get rejected a lot when I was younger, and I was the weird, goofy kid, so nobody wanted to hang out with me. Now, being weird and goofy is what
you still get rejected sometimes.
Yeah, but the rejection to me doesn't occur as rejection. It can sting.
Yeah.
Because I get disappointed.
Yeah.
But from a fit perspective, when I can remember, if we're a bad fit and we try to make it work,
it's going to be painful.
It's not going to be rejection. It's going to be implosion. Like, it's going to be crash and burn, which I personally, having grown up in a family where there was a lot of stress, I would rather deal with the sting of disappointment than the crash and burn, like, of just stuff being so terribly hard to make work that then it just disintegrates. And this is all my opinion, but the reframe has been really powerful, because then when somebody says no, I can really thank them for taking care of themselves, because they saved me the crash and burn.
Yeah.
Like the emotional scar tissue of all that.
Yeah, and you've worked through a lot of things, so as well. So you're just approaching it as here and now, this is what's happening. A lot of us have trauma or painful memories from when we were younger. Mm-hmm. So we're not just going up to Sue to ask you out. We're going up to Sue to ask you out. And we're
also heal an entire childhood.
Yeah, and Mrs. Brooks, who rejected me in the 3rd grade, and my Santa Claus.
Why were you trying to date Mrs. Brooks? That's
she was hot.
Wow.
No, I'm joking.
Wow. How old were you in 3rd grade?
I'm just making
How
stuff
old are
up.
we in third grade? Somebody let me know that. I can't do the math.
Like 8 or
Is it
9.
metric in Europe? I don't know.
I think 9.
9.
So anyway, I was just making things up. But like, it doesn't have to be a romantic. It could be any rejection. We're projecting that onto that person.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you can do is do it as a research project. Go up, you notice a rejection, thank them, and just notice what's happening for you, what stories you're telling yourself, what memories you're noticing. And those are great things to get coaching or therapy on.
Yeah.
Clear out of the way so that you're not carrying them every time you talk to someone.
Journaling, for those of you who can't, because not everybody can afford to go to a therapist or a workshop.
Yeah.
But journaling what those things mean to you, or if you can kind of forensically trace back to those moments.
Yeah.
When, those childhood or teenage moments, some of us have those moments in adulthood, right? People who have thought they were happily married or happily dating, and then the relationship, their partner wants out. That, like, those are like anchor moments for a lot of stuff.
And you can also, you shared this at a play party at once, and it was brilliant. You said, go up, try to get 5 no's. Ask for 5 things you really want to do, but that you never think anyone would ever say yes to you for. And you're just trying to gather 5 no's. And I ended up getting so many yeses, it was hard. Like, people I never thought would do it.
Ask for stuff you want.
Yeah, because then you're like, yeah.
And again, like you...
And be okay with them saying yes, and you get to do it. But like, I'm collecting these no's so I can notice how I feel and how I'm going to move forward.
And if you have huge reactions to rejection, take baby steps with the 5 no's, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't dive in there and
I'm going to get them now.
Yeah, and
next
get
hour.
like pummeled emotionally. Ease into things. It's okay to have good days and bad days around this.
Yeah.
I still get floored sometimes or caught off guard with this stuff because we're human.
Yeah.
This isn't about being like superheroes of emotions. The cinnamon rolls are done. All right, this is a long video. We're wrapping it up. We're coming back for more. Please hit subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like...